So, Sister Mohini, I have told everyone about you. I have told them all kinds of wonderful things, as have others. So, the group is, we've been in dialogue all morning, and we've talked a lot about what does it mean to serve, and how do we move beyond the influences that get in the way of our really serving. So, I think we're ready to listen. Is that okay?
Om Shanti, everyone. Om Shanti. Well, looking at these candles, are they dancing or they moving? They are happy. Yeah, are you all happy? Yes. Okay. Yes. Very well. Content. Yeah. At home. God's home. Your home. Yeah. We call this God's home and our home. Right? You feel that? Yes. You are in silence still, right? I want you to talk. Yeah, I was kind of wondering and trying to understand from the core team why we decided to have this topic of influence, because influence, right? Mm. But why we don't want to be influenced? What is there within us which is calling and saying, don't be influenced. This is the influence. It's not a right influence, or it's a right influence. Because in our lives, if we take to some of the practices which keeps our mind and intellect inexperienced or engaged, because we cannot leave our mind and intellect, either just keep thinking whatever, from wherever it comes, from within or from external sources. That's what generally it is, that mind has this freedom, total freedom, right? Or even our intellect. Now there are two abilities, mind and intellect. So naturally it will take, acquire, receive, accumulate, whatever. So that's normal, right? Any situation happening in the world, or something happening next to me, something happening within the family. So mind will think, right? So we have to allow it, no? Because we are allowing it, so we will be influenced, right? But if we form certain either principles or values or some basic your own beliefs where your mind and intellect is grounded, or that's the foundation. I think all of us have certain either teachings from childhood, teachings or learning from our education or from family or from books, wherever, right? One of the principle which in our, we call it BK family, is very common, and which really give my mind and intellect such experiences or keeps it engaged that I don't get influenced, or if there are influences, I know how to take care. Because I was thinking one is influence, but other is we are impressed by certain things, right? No, you see certain things so good, so beautiful, and you are very impressed, right? But there are certain things we are inspired, right? I'm very inspired to hear this or see this or something. So this practice is actually based on, I think what everyone, all of us need in our life to understand some of the concepts of life or spiritual life or balance between spiritual and physical. So originally, when I think of who am I eternally and originally, so you might think more about the country or the clan or culture, but eternally, as the beings we are, the souls, we have three main natural eternal qualities in each one of us. So because I am this, I am seeing the influence. And these three qualities are, first one is love. It's so natural and so much within everyone. If you get it or not, if you give or sharing, love, peace, and I say third is purity. It's like always very clean and very pure. So this eternity within the each one of us, three qualities, which are in whole universe also. So influence is when I can't love you as much I would want, or I don't feel love. Any kind of that influence disturbs the mind, or somewhere deeply you are like, you don't feel good about it. Hatred or dislike, or so influence is coming because of whatever reasons, but influence where? On my eternal self. Any kind of conflict, violence, dispute, that's influencing, that's deep core of peace is being heard somewhere. One can be involved in dishonesty and fraud, but if someone does to me, I won't accept, right? Because that purity, that honesty in the self, I can do it, but I cannot accept it. So one of the practice which we do, I do, and the family here do, very often you you hear this traffic control. That's one, but also when I feel that I'm not fully charged, like energy is not that high, or mind has a lot of controversial things going on. Same as intellect is a bit confused and not clear, which could happen, especially these days. So we use this practice. I am a pure, loveful, peaceful, eternal being. These are three of my qualities. So when you have thoughts, then you are creating it, accumulating it. Because a lot of things we have acquired, they don't belong to me, but we have acquired. Certain way of thinking, it's like a habit. Like it could be a situation which could be worry, but again, some worry more, some worry less. Right? So this practice, practice is it's like your thoughts. So your thoughts, and thoughts is creating that vibrations and the energy in each one of us. My reasoning, my deciding, my power to discern, everything has to be based on certain virtues or principles. So if there's something disturbs me and I want to decide, it won't be right. In disturbed mind, what you will decide will disturb you more, create something more. So I say, no, I shouldn't be just reacting. I should think about what is right. And we keep reacting, right? But we are actors, right? So then let me be in peace and then think, what should I decide? Then it's not only you are ending that conflict, but rather you are creating something which could be good relationship or good karma or whatever it is. But it has to be, I have to discern and decide in a very peaceful state of mind. And same is love. Yesterday we had interesting lesson that when your intellect is clean or pure, your power of concentration increases. And when there is power of concentration, your power of discern and decide will be right. I'm giving example. These are the practices which we take. So you are preserving, you are creating your entity, your personality, your nature, your habits based on your eternal qualities. Will you all accept three qualities as your eternal quality? Yes? How many of you agree? How many of you will? So it's okay. So eternally, what is eternal? See, eternal and immortality are two words, are very important to understand. If I do not understand mortality and immortality, then I can't accept many things. There are certain things which they have their lifespan or they get destroyed, they finish. I remember that someone had a very beautiful flower vase, was trying to change flowers and water, it fell. And this person was so upset and angry. And well, for me, I, I immediately would say that was the end of vast life, right? So at least, you are taking so much sorrow, taking so much pain and hurt just because a vase fell. Recently, last week, someone brought a gift and I was not there. So gave to someone to keep it. So when I came, she asked me, did you get the gift? I said, oh, I will look for it. Anyway, where she kept that sister, we couldn't find. And she will come, I am aching, heart is aching. I said, what happened? Oh, you didn't get that gift. I said, don't worry, I will get it. Then again she comes and put her hand, my heart is aching. I said, no, it doesn't need to ache. Two things. One is, I will get it. And let's say if I don't get, someone else gets it. You should still be happy. She said, no, I brought for you. And this is really, she came every time, put her hand here, heart is aching, and I keep smiling at her. I said, no, you don't have to. No, this is a object, but it comes to human body. Yesterday, one of our lessons said, within our BK family, we don't use word death. We always say soul left. No, generally they say, my uncle died, but body is here. And it's so surprising. Someone left, body was from Guyana. Here they left, he left. So they had to take body to Guyana. So I was trying to understand how they take it. So they say we went to airport. No, they have Caribbean airline. I'm referring Caribbean because I was there for a long time. So I love. So this, they put the body, and put it with the luggage. It goes with the luggage. So I said, when he was alive, he was in the plane. When body has to go in the luggage, it took, I mean, I understand, but if we understand that there is something which is living and that is eternal, is soul. Soul lives and body is here. Soul lives, but we have to accept it, right? And especially these days when untimely death, not only that, but killing is like a fun little, small, big, worldwide. So there is a lifespan and then there is. So eternity is really the soul is eternal. And I am a soul and I am loveful. I am peaceful and I want to be pure energy. Now I want to maintain this, so I don't want to be influenced now. So first I have to understand what is what is influencing, what is being influenced is I as eternal soul. So that's one of the main practice, we call it soul consciousness, and be in your eternal self, be your true self. And second word I use original, from where I began my journey. Wherever I began, I was divine. All of us, each one of us. So that's what we call it, practice of original and eternal self. As many times, whenever you feel you really need some more energy and more feel secure or powerful, just think that. Just think. Of course, after that, your attitude, your vision towards others, your words, your actions, everything on that awareness, naturally changes will start happening. So then everything what happens, I mean, this is why we call it unlimited drama. We look at this as a scene of drama. We got a beautiful gift from this morning's teaching was sympathy. That what is needed today in this world is sympathy. So someone kept saying what's the difference between mercy and sympathy, compassion and sympathy. And it was another word added was spiritual sympathy as a gift. So this morning we had a lot of discussion, one morning session, and we took that sympathy as a gift from the teachings. That means to be sympathetic, in today's world. Now, when we talk of serving, I think anyone you serve, in your heart, you need to be sympathetic. And then when you are talking or listening, even listening, because that I think is needed, was needed, because everyone has some story and some things or other, right? So what I would, say and have my offering here is that try it today, whole day, maybe. Whenever you have few moments, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, just be your, I want to be my eternal original self. And you will feel it from within, that awakening, a source of energy. and it will lift lot of burdens. Recently, one of our main teaching had been lightness. Don't carry burdens. Don't carry anything you carry is a burden, right? And that is where a very beautiful another practice is. If after a little while you will be able to do is, can I make my mind and intellect take it in silence? I don't have to necessarily think all the time. Mm. It's like I have hands, so I must keep doing something. You do it, but you also don't do. You have to walk, but you don't have to. Same as mind and intellect. They are our most important abilities. I don't have to think all the time. I think whatever is needed, I think clearly. So silence of mind. And silence also then is connected with your eternal quality, any quality you take. I had been using lot silence of intellect because all the time intellect was yes, no, right, wrong, this, that. I mean, it needs to, but then it's overworking. And I want clarity, energy, farsighted, everything, all these good qualities come through the silence when you have silence also of intellect, quiet mind, cool mind. And one of this understanding of mortality, immortality can help us, we received so many calls even yesterday. How long we keep this one on vent? How long we can we keep continuing? This is the time to let go. Mhm. Even yesterday, we had every day these kinds of, because families, I said, well, family has to decide. But understanding on the principle, how long if uh, brain is not working or this part is not working, so how long you will let body suffer also. So those who understand that there is soul and there is a time that we have to let go soul and change the part and the role, so they can decide based on their understanding. But if there is no acceptance of that, so really our whole life, everything at every step depends on some of the fundamental principles we have to accept in life. So one other one which we are practicing these days lot is very loving, loveful, lovely, but what is required with that balance? Hmm? Who will tell? With loving, what else is required? Loving and detached. Is it possible? And that is, we had been, we call Baba or our teaching all the time, loving and detached. Some people get detached and they're not lovely. And they think that's good, I'm detached. But that's not, that hurts. No? But lovely and detached. First lovely, but also certain, you have to be detached also. Because what I learned detachment is that you cannot help a person if you have attachment. Some or other, that power is not working. I have so many experiences where whole family is sitting there meditating, cannot help. So I went and we meditating and it helped. So the message which came that because it's my granddaughter, it's my daughter, this is my niece, this is, so the power from the God and the soul is not reaching the soul. And because I realized that detachment is a power, that means you can be real loving. But if your love doesn't have power, and since then, surprisingly, because sometimes when you believe something, the detachment will help. mm, That I was here at Peace Village, I think last year, 2 years ago. So I have one brother. So they are calling since early morning. They know we wake up at 4, 3:30, and they say he left body. So I said, okay, Baba. I mean, I sat in meditation, all that. I said, now wherever the soul is, will still need love, not my tears, right? The soul who left still would need my love, not tears. And I was surprised even for my own self. I can't say for future, but I was just kind of, okay, now you are in your angelic form, now you are in your different form, so I still love you. So sometimes this soul to soul relationships and all children of one supreme. So you're not cutting off, you're not disconnecting, but you're connecting in a different way with that soul, with that whichever part that soul has to play. So this, I think at this time, it's very, very important. And the third practice, which Baba had been telling us to do a lot, is about lightness and happiness. I don't know why so much about happiness. A true yogi happiness, a true renunciate happiness. So I thought, why happiness so important? So then we had day before yesterday interview, and someone was asking me difference between sadness and sorrow, joy, happiness. So sadness is something, some people are sad, whatever you do to cheer it up, kind of, because they are, and then when they see they are sitting with like something happened. I was 12 years, 13-year-old I was. So everything is with sitting inside. We don't know how to delete it, how to kind of come out of that influence from that event or whatever happened. So that creates a kind of very, the sadness in a very deeper way. Like it's very difficult for that person. Sorrow is something which is instant, like you say something, you hear something you don't like. It's like, but sadness is very deep. And just imagine that that means we are not allowing that awakening of our that human, the quality where it could be joyful, it could be happiness. So the burden, what we have to look into, if there is any burden I am carrying, I have to let go. I think this is the best place for you to leave it. All of us, if we talk about death in the families, if we talk about many kinds of, there are always duality of loss and profit and honor and insult and, cold, and there is always this is there, right? But how best I can make out of when it's negative? I learned a lot, like from Dadi Janki. Today I was thinking that if Dadi Janki was here, she would have come on wheelchair, right? Our all dadis, all senior sisters, and even now, you know, we have brother Nirvaya, the main brothers. Whatever is going on with their body, so much, but their courage, their joy, their hope, their love is still serving. So when you use word serving, they are still serving. Whatever they are supposed to do, they still do. I mean, this is my fourth session since morning. So it's like whether yes, I have to go. I want to see, I want to meet everyone. So, we had a big conference day before yesterday in Abu with the doctors. There were about 2,000 doctors. That how by maintaining at least, like as soon as something start happening to body, one worries, start worrying. So worry is starting and sickness is starting. Now they combining. As soon as something happens, like pain starts, oh, I hope it's not this. I hope, okay, you go to doctor. But worry begins. Have you noticed? So if I can at least have control on worry, some percentage of that will definitely help the body too. And when you realize that your every thought is going in your body, because every thought with the breath is going in the body. So what I am feeding my body with. As you love the soul, love the body too. Body is very important, right? It's like driver without car. What will driver do? So soul without vehicle. So we have to respect body. We have to love body. We have to serve through body. We also serve the body in the sense why that's why you get one good food, clean water, clean air. So we have to take care of the body too. So that's why all doctors had come to learn meditation, but they want to. I was surprised last clinic I went, they had a column, do you meditate? That was never asked. So I am asking this nurse. I said, since long, they say we recommend now people. Because they knew that they can medically help it. Until person helps oneself, and that is meditation, you helping yourself. My time.
Said, um, about whatever's going on with the body. They're all serving. I wondered if we want to check in with Lloyd, who has been, he addressed that on the first night, and he's been doing wonderful service, uh, even though the body, he's talked about how it lets him down a little bit. Shall we give him a mic to share a little bit?
Yeah, you can remove your mic.
I'll be glad to speak to this because I had to learn this. For really some time. I was in deep depression, not clinical, I don't think, but just really depressed and ashamed and sorry. Um, I didn't like seeing others seeing others see me walking this way. Um, I have been active all my life, and I found so many things that I love doing and being that I couldn't do, um, and really had a sense of um, identity crisis. It's the only way I can put it. Um, and it really was through this teaching and this meditation that really has pulled me out of this. Um, just for example, I mean, the very simple thing of just remembering who I really am and that I have a body, but I'm not this body, and just really understanding the reality of that. Um, and these thoughts are only thoughts, even these depressing thoughts are only thoughts. And I don't need to allow them to define me either. And so it just really gave me a great sense of freedom as I just sort of worked my way through this. And of course, um, it doesn't make things any worse when you're still being asked to do things. And for a while, I was afraid to accept assignments. Well, I can't stand anymore, can't celebrate the Eucharist. I can't do, this and that and the other. Um, but I'm just really, I told Judy in a letter not too long ago, I'm having a ball now, really. And what in the service that I'm doing with the energy that I have, with the body that I have. And so I think what Sister Mohini is telling us is exactly right on. And that's a personal testimony.
Mhm. And it took you 4 hours to come, or 5, right? From Delaware.
More like 5.
Mhm. But acceptance, know that I am not body. It's a small practice, but it takes whole life to practice. All of us, I think that, not all of us, at least we all, those who are going above 80, to use this. Because just imagine when you are able to run around and you are able to manage so many things and all over, and suddenly you're just sitting on a chair. And, but the shift I made lot in myself was maybe I have to serve from other level. And I remember that 3 years I couldn't travel, and lot of them, Gayatri, and many of them were my companions when I couldn't go to Mount Abu first time, because generally I go twice a year. But then I never for a moment gave up. I just thought that I have to now do it through mental, through, some more capacities to increase. So I just kind of start developing a lot of, practices and helping people in many, many different ways through thoughts, through eyes, through whatever way, because then you still feel you are serving, right? Maybe you cannot run around. Like my favorite place was kitchen to go, and now I don't even go because I will mess up, because so I say, no, they just, but they still show me menu because I'm always very interested. I have done that since young age, arranged for a lot of people for cooking and all that. But then internally, you can make yourself progress in different areas. And that's why I'm able to tell others also, okay, if you can't do this, there's still a lot of things we can do. There are a lot of young people that they need some clarity or nothing else, but at least everyone needs good wishes, right? Everyone needs blessing. I said, if you can't do anything, sit and keep saying bless you. That will also be a good service. because no one has time for that now. So, you can kind of your abilities, your capacities, because soul is still all right, right? Our Dadi Janki always used to say, once your clarity of thinking, your mind and intellect, they are clear, you are okay. I mean, her body was like, you know, when I say, I won't live like that. But she lived because she wanted to serve. I saw her in hospital last time, whenever, 2 years ago. But she's still smiling, looking at her gives us courage. Once she's around, we feel so brave as if we are her courage was like our courage. Anything happen, she will say, and she was a person wants to get things done. To tell you have to go to Malaysia tomorrow. I said, Malaysia? Okay. So apply for visa. It takes 2 days. So I said, I won't reach for program. Oh, you can do anything. You tell them I have to go. So I said, but they have policy for 2 days. She will say go and it gets done. Anything she will say, we will say, Daddy, we look at her. We don't say no because we always said yes to her. And she gets it done. We say impossible. She will say, oh, nothing is impossible. So I think that serving is always there. It's always good to be very kind, compassionate, and start from physical. And when you cannot do it, then you do it. So you have mind, you have body, you have wealth. If I don't have wealth, I can inspire others to share in a charitable task. Yeah, I don't have wealth, but definitely there are many who want to know how to use it in a proper way. So anyway, so this is like what I'm saying, that there are certain fundamental principles of life which are spiritual, need to be understood. And then you have to adopt them, then you have to practice. And then you will find that all the time, because you are increasing your capacity, there won't be influences.
Sister Mohini, can you just share with everyone a little bit about serving through the mind? You're already saying that, but to be clear, I think sometimes we want to serve someone who's far away, someone with whom we've had some kind of breakdown or distance, and we don't really know exactly what to do about that.
You have to connect the soul with God. No? You take that soul to God. Because whatever we can do is very limited. And if it's someone's karmas, what can I do? But he can. So that's what I really mean. Of course, good wishes, sending a lot of vibrations of love, feelings of belonging, whatever one can do, soul to soul. But recently I had been, because so many strong karmas, I'm not the one who can clear anyone's karmas, honestly. It has to be God. So whatever I can do through my thoughts, through my good wishes, sending all the blessings, but I take the soul to God. This soul needs help. I always say I can use my credit card, but credit has limit to, right? Once I call service of mind as credit card. Whatever good I have my credit card, you use it, but it has limits. Right? So I have, so these days when I am listening to, that has become part of our duty, not only talk of spiritual knowledge, but there's so much sorrow, there is so much happening in people's life. So of course they call and I listen, but I keep God in between and I keep saying, are you listening? He's your child, are you listening? One reason, because I don't want to take all that sorrow too. I mean, every human has this sensitivity of taking sorrow, no? No human being, unless we have some who are creating lot of tortures and sorrow, but basically human nature is you feel sad about looking at anyone's. So if we bring God more in between, then I am keeping my immune system so that I can serve more. It's not selfish. Because if I start getting sorrow, then I can't help, right? But one thing I want to tell you that one of the reason we all are cheerful, happy, and whatever we're doing in a good ways, because one of the most important thing which we believed when I came to this organization 60 plus years, when I heard about a world without sorrow, world without conflict, a world which is peaceful, there is abundance. And that's the beginning of the world. That's the creation of God, which people call it heaven or whatever. But then gradually, he didn't make it hell, we make it hell with all kinds of vices and all kinds of negativity. So then now it has to be changed, right? So we still constantly believe that after this dark night, there will be day, there will be dawn, there will be sunrise. Sunrise is happening, but still dark. Like 12 midnight, it's very dark, but it's a dawn. 12, 1, 2, 3, going towards dawn. We look forward for that. And also we are co-creators for that all the time. Always think positive, pure, peaceful, love. Every thought add to that creation. First within your own self. So that's why we this whole month we are doing practice of creating heaven within. Every evening we sit together and creating heaven within. Then we take a practice. And then also we have to create that world. And you start seeing the things in a completely, even what start happening around you. So that, because if I believe in God, I have to believe in heaven. He's the creator. He didn't create this world. This is the old age, right? Like child is created. Do you ever see an old person is born? No, child. But then child goes through young age and adult and becomes old. World is old now. But then within old, there is always new, Yesterday someone gave, something. It was green chickpeas. Very few of you must have seen. There is black chickpeas, white, and then there is green, fresh, right? So if you leave it, then it starts sprouting, right? There is always life within life. There is a seed within the fruit, right? So this dawn which God is creating, plus we are the ones who have to bring it on earth because we made it hell. He didn't. But he gives us the vision of. That's how Brahma Baba, the founder of the organization, saw this divine children, divine world, and he said, "Oh, but what can be done now?" So he started talking about purity, love, peace, new world. And that's going on, we are very limited in USA. But in India, I can't believe there are everyone now. I don't know, it's a good news or what. Our new president, which will be elected in India in 2, 3 days, is first native woman who will be president. And she had like two sons died, husband died, and she got depressed. So she started going to Brahma Kumari's center, and she got okay. So now she's become president. So all BKs are happy that all the presidents had been to BKs. All the presidents of India went to Mount Abu and then they became president. And this one, so they're telling them that before she become president, don't. But the news, it's the news, what they call it, those, this journalist is describing that her depression took her to Brahma Kumaris, and she's so well now that she will be elected as the president. So it's what I'm saying, the knowledge and lifestyle, like vegetarian, so many things are just spreading. Yeah, or we are doing like tree planting, 800 million something, So what I'm saying that we have to hold this vision that what we have to create, what we want. Not all the time what is happening, this is happening. Let's see what is in that, what is emerging. So one word which we use the word drama, that whatever happened, there is some benevolence, is some blessing in there. I have to just look at that and see what is the blessing. Even it looks very, very negative, but there is some blessing in that. So we always use word drama, past is past, but also there is something good coming. Always see there is something good emerging from there. So again, now when it comes to, you know, no, we won't be influenced. We don't have to be influenced now. Whenever you, not during day, practice original eternal self or detached. Some of the practices, very small one, but they take quite long time because we have acquired a lot of mental habits, physical habits, right? Lot. Even thinking has become, why you have to think this way? Because again, it's a habit, right? Once I went, Judy was in Cleveland, so I had to go for a day. But whole day I'm at the airport because of rain, clouds. Flight won't go. When it reached, it was evening, and I had to come back next. So she said, I hope your flight will be in time. I said, today should be early because yesterday was late. So anyway, we came to airport, it was 7 in the morning and it left 10 to 7. I always think because now negative has happened, something positive has done. Some people say, I hope again it happened. Now, why are you thinking that way? We don't realize that we created already here, which we making it happen. Oh, now again it will happen. He says, please, why are you thinking that way? But these are the old traits we are holding, Lord. Again, pop up with same. I say again, think differently. There is something more positive there. So any situation, circumstances, any minute, anything could happen and happens, but your own inner strength, your own very, very positive thing, it will change, it changes. And that's what we have to do constantly. We are on service for that. That's our service. Anyone who thinks that way, why upset, anger, for what reason? There's no reason really. Just maintain your self-respect. God loves you, God respects you. Have self-respect. And always remember that you are very fortunate. Today, the teachings was that God, who is fortune maker, belongs to you. So how fortunate you are. How fortunate. Hmm. So today's our teaching was that a yogi is one who constantly dance and sing. So we said, what dance? What dance? Hmm. So when there is inner joy, then you are singing of your fortune and God's praise. That's all we have to sing. I am so fortunate to be God's child. I am so fortunate to be within such a beautiful family. I am so fortunate that I have been given this service to do. Like so many things. Never say for yourself, maybe my luck is like this. No, it is not. You are very fortunate. And there is a lot we can keep talking. It's unlimited. But my suggestion is or request is some of the basic fundamental principles or teachings have to be learned. I know you all have 7 in the morning, the session, right? This talks of some of the basic, and these are like concepts which are universal. No? Any scripture you will take, Bible you will read, you will find it. Canon Kesson knows about that. That's where actually, when we met many years ago, and he went to Mount Abu, and there he realized that whatever is said in scriptures, the main, the wisdom and the principles are all same. But then traditions and how we do it, you go to church, someone goes to temple, someone go, all that is another part of, religion. But the main religion, as our teachings are, is peace and love. It's said, the soul, I am a soul, I am peaceful. Om Shanti. Om Shanti is I am peace. Shanti is in English peace. Om is I am peace. Not I want peace. I am peace. When I heard these words, I am peaceful, I remember I didn't relate it, but then I went to school. I was in last year of school, and anything happened, I am peaceful. I don't know how I said maybe 8, 10 times, and I felt it, the awakening of that peace from within. And then every time I say, Om Shanti, I am peaceful. Just simple thoughts. No. But that's the truth, and that's what you are. First important aspect is that, let's say I have relationship, my parents first, right? Then brothers, sisters, and big family. Then we extend it, neighbors. Then I'm in this country, so it's quite a vast. But the relationships really are here and they are necessary. But actually, within everyone is the soul. So, what happens when I start learning spirituality? I start, oh, my mother also is a soul. So, I'm giving practical example that when I start going to Brahma Kumaris, they didn't like it, my family, at all. A young person, what you thinking? And but like I looked at my mother and I said, she is a soul, right? And oh, If I have taken many births, that means I have many mothers. If I have taken many births, I have many brothers. Like first thing I start feeling they all are my relatives. It became unlimited. I'm not seeing them only as my family. I'm seeing neighbor, any child, I'm seeing anyone. It's not that my duties in this birth is towards my family, but my love extended. And I really, I became like very kind, generous, anyone, anywhere. But they are also souls, no? They are also my family. Maybe in last birth, this one was my mother. Maybe previous birth, this one was my mother. So whom should I not love? You know, there what we are taught in the family, auntie is mother, sister. If I love auntie more, everyone will say, you don't love your mother, you love your auntie more. So limited. And here I am looking at everyone as soul. Here we are together for so many years, right? I didn't know Judy, I didn't know Gayatri. We lived together for years because we are souls. So our love is spiritual love. So that's one thing, right? And second is now on what basis the relationships are formed. It's a continuous story, in the sense of that what we were in last birth. I think you believe, I don't know, in the what they call it, birth, rebirth, right? So that means I have karmas with many, many, many. And that is why suddenly you find somebody does something, or so we like our, it becomes like extended. You are not seeing anything limited. That is one thing happen. So then nothing start like, it won't hurt anything. For me, one thing it happened that, in the beginning, of course, somebody has, whatever nature, you feel hurt if somebody talks aggressively. And now, well, what to do? That's that person's habit. You can't keep taking sorrow because of someone's habit. Now, there also you have to become detached. So detachment in soul consciousness. And also, as I said, I realized, one thing I didn't had even before spirituality was attachment, because I didn't like sorrow. And I said, if I'm a good person, why I have to keep taking sorrow? And I realized it's because of attachment, there is sorrow. So I should have love, lot of love. But if I don't want to take sorrow, and if I want to help, as I said, then I have to be detached. But basically, it is soul consciousness and relationship with God and understanding of karmas. That means, let's say you are two together and completely different temperament. People call it differences or conflict, or it causes, but we start understanding is from some karmas from the past. And one of the biggest thing is that as much I remember God and soul consciousness, that's called yoga. My yoga with God, remembrance of God, that's where our lot of karmic accounts get settled. So that's also another kind of detachment. Now, practice basically soul consciousness and remembrance of God, but also forgiveness is very important. If someone accuses me of something which I haven't done, I immediately forget instantly, because when that person will realize that what I am doing is not right, should not feel guilty, bad, or doesn't come close to me. One of our seniors said, called me and said, look, this has done this much, but I am giving extra love to this one so that when that person feels guilty, doesn't go far from God or go away into the, again, world of vices. So when you start giving this love, it's a detachment of very, I should say, positive way. Not that I won't talk to you. There are some people they won't talk to you for many days. You send good wishes, hello through your mind, good morning, even if they don't talk. But then what is happening if I am taking something because of attachment or whatever? It won't allow me to connect to God too. It becomes a big obstacle there in your awareness because that person keeps coming back in your mind. It says in our one of the scripture that friends or foes or those who don't get along, they both could be obstacles. Friends because of attachment and others because they cause sorrow or do things which you don't like. So I think it's always good to start with soul consciousness. You widen your horizon of like it's an unlimited family. And also, I tell you that I have seen some patients, right? So when you talk to them as a soul in coma, like, I have seen some patients I am called to go say, how are you? But how don't you remember such good thing happened with you? Like talking to the soul, they start moving hands and they want to hold the hand with the friendship. So this way, what start happening that relationships, all relationships first are souls, and then you are mother, father, your friend, your neighbor, your whatever it is, and all the souls are children of God. So we are all brothers and sisters in relationship. And then later on in our cycle of birth, rebirth, we did all kinds of karmas. And karmas are not always negative, right? There are good karmas too. Like parents, how much they do for a child. Good karmas. But I have seen recently one couple, they are so depressed. I said, but why? They have only one son since he went to university. So in the beginning, they start visiting, and after that, he got busy. And one day, his son just said, "But why you come so often?" And they were shocked. When they came home, they both were sick, and they called. I said, "But he has to study. But son was their life, right? Son was their life. Now that is why Dadi Janki, after certain age, everyone should find a path, some spiritual path, something for the service to humanity, so that you are not always living on where others, younger ones, want their own life, their own freedom. Someone sent me a beautiful card on Mother's Day. Be a mother when children need you to be a mother. Because mother always wants to be mother, but children don't want necessarily a mother. They want, but then so that's why we start calling friends and something like that. I don't know if I answered all, but maybe one or two tips you can use and see. But also the example is given of lotus flower. That lotus flower has nine, you know, things with the lotus underwater. It has lotus roots, lotus nuts, lotus, so many things. We use lotus root to eat, right? Some lotus. They have lotus nuts, very healthy. But flower is above, untouched. So the example given to us is that stay with everyone. Don't cut off. If you cut off, still you will think, right? Oh, I don't talk to this one. I didn't like this one. It's still hard. So be with everyone connected, but live like above and like lotus flower.